Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Junior Chef Katie. Today's menu is going to be Crockpot Chicken. Mary's working for the next few days and she often likes to bring in lunches with her. And one of her favorites is chicken breast on potatoes. And so with this chicken breast and the vegetables I'm going to prepare for you today, we should get at least 2 meals out of it, certainly for tonight and certainly for lunch tomorrow. This meal cost about $12.50. Will take about 10 minutes to prepare, but it'll probably cook for 6 to 8 hours. First thing we're going to look at is the chicken. I do like to buy Perdue whole young chickens. As you can see here, it is 97 cents a pound. It is $6.80. I try and buy the largest one that I can, again, because I usually like trying to get 2 or 3 meals out of it. I have sweet baby potatoes. I do like the red potatoes. Again, I will be cooking with the skins on it. They've been washed already, ready to go. Carrots. How can you not have chicken and potatoes without carrots? And then finally, an onion to stuff inside the chicken while it's cooking and keep it from collapsing. And one of my favorites, poultry seasoning Southern Blend. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to take the carrots, and we're going to need about 5 of them, and we're going to quickly cut off the tails, the heads. We're going to peel them rather quickly. They do grow in the ground, so I do like to remove the peels. There's one. I've been doing some studying on chicken while we're going to be cooking the chicken. Like I said, it's hard with a crock pot because depending on the weight of the chicken depends on really how long it's going to take to cook in a crock pot. But the temperature of the chicken needs to get above 165, and later on while I'm in cooking process, about 4 hours into it, I will insert a thermometer into the beefy part of the chicken, being careful not to touch the bone. If you touch the bone, it'll give you a false sense of temperature readings. And again, because we like nice dry chicken breasts for sandwiches, we want to make sure that it's not overcooked, because if it's overcooked, when you end up trying to slice the chicken breast for sandwiches, or even for putting it on top of vegetables of some sort or noodles, it'll just crumble. So chicken, you have to be very careful not to overcook it if you're going to use it for sandwiches, which I do like. We have the carrots peeled. What I'm going to do is move our guest aside. We're going to take the crock pot. I have 2 crock pots I'm very proud of. One is a large crock pot. I only use this for large chickens or spare ribs of some sorts. So I'm going to line the bottom of the crock pot with my carrots. And apparently I'm going to need 1 more, which is good. It's almost the entire package. Again, like I said, this costs $12.50, but I do expect to get minimum of 2 meals out of it. So it's quite reasonable. And one of the advantages of this type of meal is that it cooks all day long and you never have to touch it again. So there we go. We have the bottom line with carrots. I'm going to flip this over. I'll clean up later. We have our chicken. Now I've washed the chicken thoroughly, and what I'm going to do with the chicken now is you need to put something in the opening. I'd hate to call it a mouth, but the opening to keep it from collapsing when it's cooking. The old days, we used to put stuffing in it, but now that's considered a no-no. So I'm just going to take one just yellow onion and peel it. And it's biting me a little bit. I'm going to put it on the inside of it. Now, many times when you bake chicken, you have to take skewers, and you have to tighten them in, almost like a turkey, so it cooks evenly. But being tight in a crock pot, you don't have to string up any of your chickens. The next thing I really want to do is season it. Again, like I said, we do use a lot of the breast for sandwiches. So one thing I'm careful of is that usually if you just put the seasoning on the chicken itself, it sits on the skin and then cooks off, and then when you make the sandwiches, you really don't eat the skin anyways. So as I'm seasoning this, I'm going to take good handfuls of the seasoning and slide it under the skin and rub the interior chicken breast with it. And this will ensure that the chicken itself, especially the breast, as we make them into sandwiches, will still carry that flavor that will probably cook away inside the steaming of the crock pot. So we're going to take our guest of honor, we're going to set him nicely inside on top of the carrots. We're going to take our red potatoes and we're going to surround our chicken, because that's our vegetable part of the meal. Again, like I said, I've washed these ahead of time. So these are basically going to be steamed by the time they finish. And we'll have a nice meal of chicken, carrots, and potatoes. Now lastly, what I didn't do anything with is the gizzards, the neck. Remember, you need to take that out of the interior before you cook it. There's many horror stories of people that leave it in, take it out. You can do one of two things for it. You can cook it up and make a gravy for the top of this, just using cornstarch and flour, and make a gravy for the top of it. I'm not going to use it today, so I'm going to dispose of it. So here we go. We got the crock pot ready to go. I'm going to set it on high, and after about 4 hours, I'm going to double check, make sure that the temperature is not too high. Then I'll leave the thermometer right in, careful not to touch the bones. It has to be in the meat part of it. Well, this is 2 meals. I hope it turns out. I'll give you a tell and show you a pic at the end as we plate it up. This is Katie, Junior Chef Katie in Hughes for Outdoor Staycations, and we'll see you in a few. Welcome back. Well, here we are at the conclusion. I did cook it for about 4 hours on high, and it reads about 170, 172. So 4 hours on high was certainly enough time. If you take a look, you'll see the potatoes are cooked to perfection. They crumble easily. The carrots, which I took out from the bottom, are beautifully done. Tasty. And the chicken breast, as I said, cuts nicely and is well done. Cut a little piece out so you can take a look, and perfectly done. Moist, flaky, perfect. This is Hughes for Outdoor Staycation with Junior Chef Katie. We're going to enjoy our dinner tonight and sandwiches tomorrow. Again, this is Hughes from Outdoor Staycation. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and follow Katie on more of her cooking with Junior Chef Katie.